One of the most enjoyable things to do as a family is to share family photos. And FamilySearch makes it so easy that one of my nephews has had a blast uploading family photos to FamilySearch. So today I'm going to walk you through the easy steps to upload your family photos to FamilySearch, plus give you some warnings about what you can and cannot upload, as well as giving you some advice along the way. Sharing family photos can be a really fun activity to do as a family. And if you have a FamilySearch account, no matter your age, yes, get the young folks involved, you can share family photos on FamilySearch. First, we need to talk about what kinds of pictures you can upload to FamilySearch. Obviously, you can share photos of people. Now, it can be a photo of a group of people, and it can be a photo of an individual person. You can and should upload pictures of artifacts. If you have rings and quilts and military uniforms, you name it, if you have artifacts that help us understand the character of your ancestor, our relatives, go ahead and share those as well. Another thing you can do is show pictures of places, particularly if they have significant meaning to your family. So this is when I would actually show pictures of the Zumstein family barn, the one picture from the past and the most modern ones, so we can know what our homeland looked like. You should share documents, but don't share documents that FamilySearch already has on its website. You want to be sharing documents that are in your home sources, but not if they are under copyright on a different platform. Be very careful. That's what the sources are for. When in doubt, use a source link, and we've talked about that in other videos. If you're not sure, be sure to check the link in the description. But if you have funeral programs, marriage programs, birth announcements, all of these great home sources, then go ahead and upload those as well. And finally, gravestones are awesome. So if you have the permission to that gravestone image, go ahead and share that to FamilySearch. If it's over on Find a Grave and you didn't take the picture and the person who took the picture hasn't given you permission to put it on FamilySearch, then just use the linking system that FamilySearch has. Now, to upload your images to FamilySearch, there's a couple of ways you can do it. First, let's make sure we know what kinds of images we can upload. If it is any of these file formats, you can upload them to FamilySearch. There are some size limitations, and I'm going to put that in the show notes, or at least a link to the size limitations in case they ever change. You can use one of two apps. The first app you can use is the one that I have on my phone, and that is the FamilySearch Family Tree app. And when you navigate into one of your relatives and you click on Memories, if you'll notice down there in the right-hand side, you can add a document, a story, record audio, or add a picture. So you can go ahead and use the FamilySearch Tree app in order to add photos and memories to individuals, in this case, my mother. The other app that FamilySearch has is the FamilySearch Memories app that's completely dedicated to capturing and preserving memories. It does the same thing as the FamilySearch Tree app, but it's just one focused on memories. And you can go ahead and come to this view, and there's this big plus button at the top, and you can add pictures right there, and you can pull them in from your phone. The other way is to navigate into one of your ancestors' profile and then click on the memories. So it just kind of cut off right over there because it was zooming in, and then click on upload. The other way you can do it online, and this one is fairly useful if you have your pictures in some other platforms other than your computer. So I'm going to invite you to come this way. If they're just on your computer, use this way. If they could be on other sites, then come click on Memories, and you're going to go to galleries, and then you're going to click this button. When you click that button, then you'll be brought to this page, and then you can drag and drop your images from your computer, or notice you can also pull them in from Instagram, Facebook, or Google Photos. Just make sure you have the right to use them. But I have to emphasize, not every picture is suitable for FamilySearch. It is a family-friendly location that has positive emotions that they're trying to present. Now, one of the ones that people get the most frustrated with is kissing pictures. So if people are kissing, a couple is kissing in the pictures, or a parent and a child is kissing, then FamilySearch doesn't like kissing pictures. And if they look like they're about to kiss, that also falls into a kissing category, and so they will be taken off. Be sure to check out our show notes for the link to the FamilySearch guidelines that tell you what pictures fall into these categories. They want it to be appropriate, relevant, heartwarming, copyright-free, and non-commercial. So I can't go put stuff about family history fanatics until my business is closed, and then people can see some of the artifacts related to being in family history fanatics. And then you're going to see this processing banner go across your picture for about 30 seconds to about 5 minutes. And what's happening is somebody is actually looking at that picture to make sure it meets the guidelines that FamilySearch has established. So that's why it can take 30 seconds to 5 minutes to review. While it's under review, if you're really certain that it's going to pass muster, then you can go ahead and come to the next view. Just double click on that picture and you'll be brought to this form. So what can you do? Well, I highly recommend you add a title. So this could be man holding baby, but that's not really helpful. Instead, I want to add a title that's a little more descriptive. So Harry Long holding Louise Long, his adopted daughter. Really good. The next thing I can do is I can double click on the faces in the images. That's why I said click the image to tag Louise. Notice they've already figured out who she is. So click on her picture 2 times, and then you can move the little circle to her face. And then once you've got her established, you can draw a circle over the next face and the next face and the next face. And then you can use this sidebar to help identify who those people are. Now, I've covered that in a previous video. I'll be sure to find it and put a link to it in the show note. The next thing I want you to do is add some topic tags. So this could be a topic tag of a portrait. If you have a Civil War ancestor, you can start typing in Civil War, and there will be some other prompts that FamilySearch has already pulled that other users have used. If it is from a certain location, maybe bought in Germany, you can put that in. So go ahead and explore those tags and tag yours accordingly, because this can really help social history research in the future, something I'm going to talk about in a future video about searching the image gallery on FamilySearch. So be sure to look for that upcoming video. If you know about when that picture was taken, go ahead and add that. Add the place as specific as you can. In this location, you're going to have a city or parish, county, state, and then country. And then if you have other details about this picture, then go ahead and add that. Put in the why of the picture. If you know it is in a particular church, that's where you need to put the church name. If it's in a specific cemetery, that's where you put the information in the description. Don't try to force it into the place. So make sure you add lots and lots of details. One, because your family photos can become searchable. If you have a group photo of a military unit, but you don't know everybody in that unit, every bit of detail you can add can help some other researcher find the photos they are seeking of their ancestors. They may know the unit, but not have ever seen it, a picture exist, and they won't find it based on the name of their ancestor because you didn't know it. But if you have all this details about their military unit, then they'll be able to find it. You can do this for high school photos, for organization reunions. If you have lots of these photos and you know what they're a part of, go ahead and upload those to the memories section. Just make sure everybody is deceased. Living people pictures just gets to be kind of difficult. Now, FamilySearch is constantly inviting living people to share their memories and create a location for their highlights of the things that they're doing in their life. So what do you do with the living photos, and what do you need to know about it? Well, first, you can add photos of living people to your account. Now, this is from my account, and notice the big warning up at the top. So it says, living and confidential people are managed in a private space. Only you will be able to see and modify this person. However, anyone can potentially see the photos, documents, and stories. So what does that mean? That means FamilySearch will privatize birth, marriage, and death information and residence information and all of your notes that you add to a profile for a living person. But with photos, if a deceased person is in that photo and is tagged, well, then your pictures of yourself who is living can be made available online for people to see. There are a couple settings that should turn that off, and I'll show you how to do that. To lock down a particular photo, what you need to do is first click on the image and then come to this view. But if you notice in the right hand spot, you're going to see that this picture is available to the public. So this is available for the public to find. How it's found is a little fuzzy, but let's say it was a picture of me and my parents, and I had tagged my parents in it, as well as myself. Well, now everybody's going to be able to see me, and if I didn't want that to happen, so what I need to do is turn that from public and click on private. And then it'll say, this is about to become private. It will only be visible to myself. And then I also have the option to say, yeah, I got it. Don't show me that message again. They're down at the bottom. But I can go ahead and make that private. And notice it now has a lock on it. So even if I tag deceased persons in my photo, that photo is private and only viewable to me. Don't put every single picture you have about your ancestors on FamilySearch. It's not a dumping ground. Instead, I'm going to invite you to create digital photo books of your ancestors' pictures. That way, everybody can have a copy of the family photo album and share it that way. And then what you can do is over in the notes section, you can tell people, hey, more photos are available. And when you click in, you can tell people, I have more photos available. If you want to see them, contact me. Now, all they have to do is actually click on your name right there. See, click on my name right there. It will pop up my account information, and people can send me a message through the FamilySearch platform, or if I've made my email available for people to contact me off platform, you'll find an email address for the person who says that as well. So don't make it a dumping ground. Choose some of the best pictures, and then if you have more, you can tell people where they can find them. Now, another thing you can do, and I highly recommend, is that you go and you share what you've added to FamilySearch on social media. Let's face it, almost all of our relatives are on social media these days, particularly the younger generation. So notice the number of places you currently can share based on this recording. So Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, WhatsApp, and you can always use email. Now, there are some album features going on in FamilySearch that are new to me, and I'm exploring, and I'm excited to share with you. So you can create albums for your photos. So let's say you have all of these pictures that are your long relatives, the last famous long. So you can create an album and then put all of the pictures in longs over there. You can put pictures in multiple albums, which is really nice, but it's really great to go through and see your pictures more organized, because there's a couple other things that you can do with that. First of all, you can click share. And just like you can share individual photos to all of those social media platforms, you can share an entire album with your family and friends, and they can be brought to view your photo album there. Now, a couple other things that you can do here. Let's say you want to reorder the pictures. Maybe you want to have the newlyweds here and you want to have all of these different pictures in a different order. You can reorder the album. That is nice to be able to see, to view the pictures in order, but it's also handy when you come in and create a slideshow, because when you play the slideshow and I go ahead and click fast forward, then that order controls the view of the slideshow. Now let's say you have a picture in the wrong album. I mean, it happens. So I can click on this image. It actually goes to the Geislers. I can drag and drop it over there, so it's going to show up right there in the Geisler album. However, let's go back to the gallery. If I click on the long album, it's still there. So I'm going to click on this upper right box. I'm going to click on Actions, and I'm going to remove from album. There we go. And now that has gone away. So some other things you can do while you're in here, you can rotate it if you need to rotate the image. If you want to download the image because, you know, it's not on your computer anymore for whatever reason, you can download it, change it to a document. This is particularly useful if, say, over here, this is actually a document, so we could change it to a document. And here it's actually a photo, but if it was marked as a document, we could switch it back and forth. So lots of different things that you can do here in the photo album, so make sure that you take advantage of that. That's just touching the tip of the iceberg of the fun things that you can do when you start sharing your family photos and your ancestor photos on FamilySearch. I have to tell you, my father-in-law, and he was so funny. When he was passing through from Missouri to Colorado recently, he had stopped by and he said, Devin, I'm on FamilySearch. I'm on FamilySearch. And I said, okay, that's great. And so he was looking at the documents that were there on FamilySearch, and he loved finding all of the black sheep on the family tree, all of the criminals, all of the less than upstanding individuals, and telling me all about it. But his favorite thing was looking at the pictures. And his other favorite thing was seeing who uploaded it and knew that it was one of his grandchildren. So be sure that you're getting into FamilySearch and making those memories. It's something always fun to do around holidays. So get after it and have a lot of fun. If you want to learn how to use FamilySearch better, be sure to check the playlist up above. And if you're ready for something else, check out this video selected just for you. Yeah, I know. I'm filming a FamilySearch video drinking water from an Ancestry bottle.